Annyeonghaseyo. I'm from the University of Quebec in Montreal, in the Department of Specialized Education and Training. I will need my notes like as Marie to be able to be clear if it's and I would like to precise that the ergonomic studies concerned were carried out with, in collaboration with Marie. Oui, maybe I need a third end. Thank you, Marie. And Jessica Riel and those students and professional research professional in the university. The context in the vocational training center is different that Marie presented. Around 150 programs in 21 employment sectors. For example, health and beauty care, typically female, transport, typically male, accounting, mixed trade. And in this context, students come from a wide range of backgrounds and ages. Teachers are first of all experts in their trades, but subsequently choose to teach this trade. Teaching and learning take place in classroom, mostly in the workshops of the school and in the workplace for short internships. As well as students, teachers may be exposed to various physical and psychological risks due to the activity and the environment because we can find in those places equipments, tools, materials, and in some cases, clients in their dressings or mechanicals. There was few studies in OHS in VTCs. One showed that at school, students had accidents and health problems during training. A second one showed the same thing during first year in job market. And these two studies only targeted traditionally male trades. For example, in motorized equipment, nothing in the female programs. But a study by Pratt on the situation of female students at school and in internships in male context revealed that they were not accepted. Treats, isolation, work unrelated with trade learn. And Riel observed later the same thing, the same situation for women teachers in male programs. And we knew with other research that Karen Messing team did that there were those problems in workplaces were very frequent for female in male context. For example, in a telecommunication company, more women were injured. Anxiety, fear of certain male colleagues, lack of support, and all the responsibility was on women's side to adapt themselves, and clearly they were discouraged. The union partner prepared after a special document to sensibilize and work about the situation of female in male context. So it was very clear that we had indications of OHS problems for women and men, but not necessarily the same ones, which may begin at school. The other Marie, please. Yeah. Which begin at school, perhaps increase or diversify during work, internships, and possibly affect career paths. It became necessary to study these issues in VCTs, and we proposed to investigate 4 potentially interdependent dimensions: students' OHS, teachers' OHS, OHS teaching and learning, and OHS management in vocational center. A teachers' union was the first partner, and gradually the main social partners in vocational training and health and safety joined the project. We were very happy, with a particular interest for training for students. Research grant came from the Research Institute in Health and Safety of Quebec. The VTC involved in this study is a large school, more than 100 teachers, more men than women, about 1,500 students in 24 full-time programs. We chose this center with the union partner because the interest of management and teachers to develop, because we have a presence of traditionally male and female and mixed programs, and a diversity of teachers, gender, age, seniority. We chose 2 programs, a mostly female, hairdressing, and a mostly male, with some women in automated system, electromechanical, it's okay, it's clear. And we use individual interviews, group interviews, logbooks, activity observations, and analysis of documents. First, let's take a look to these documents produced by the Ministry of Education for teaching the 2 trades concerned. After, I will resume the situation about the representation of OHS by students and OHS in school and workshops. For hairdressing, in a document entitled Work Situation Analysis, which precede the drafting of the curriculum, the ministry recognized the psychological demands of stress management and self-control, chemical and postural hazards, and the importance of customer comfort. Although there may be a link, for example, with working postures, this introduced confusion regarding the definition of the worker's health. Despite this recognition of some risk mentioned, the syllabus presents no knowledge on the causes, only individual prevention. For only 4 tasks identified as presenting risk, like coloring, bleaching, all that is said is to be careful and follow the rules, which are left to teachers' discretion. When we compare with electromechanical, the ministry recognized physical, chemical, psychological, and biological risk, the importance of standards and risk on work sites, the importance of self-control, for example, fatigue management, and to learn how to act on risk, identify preventive measures, and define objectives and means with the environment. It requires teachers to explain the standards and laws applicable to each task, to set up activities for self-assessment of attitudes to risk, and to teach how to identify risk and how to prevent them. So, several skills are proposed for each task in the job, 29. Prevention is an individual and a collective responsibility. It's very different. When we discuss the representation of students, in hairdressing, women talk first protecting the customer, then protecting themselves, aware of certain dangers and therefore of being careful. With regard to postural risk, some talk about the importance of good postures and messages to relax. And what they remember from their training is the importance of good postures, but they question the effects of stretching. One said teachers talk about it all the time, being careful to protect the back and shoulders, doing stretches. Another said, when your body is already worn out, stretching doesn't make much difference. They also remember the importance of maintaining the workstation, but question whether this was realistic in terms of the time available to do it. In electromechanical students, for them, they also put their own responsibility first. Not being too confident in our abilities, wearing protective equipment, work with appropriate equipment, but they all talk about employer responsibility. Despite that, their more extensive OHS training, several of them, women and men, are very, it's a kind of resignation, even if they learn to identify in the workplace for men, they feel it will not be possible to change the situation. So in electromechanic, even if they have that, for example, one said, the teacher suggests it's very common practice wearing glasses, for example, even though it really isn't. They don't tell us that our employers don't care. You do what you can with that. In the second slide, we can see very fastly the correspondence between teachers and students in hairdressing. And there is a very big overlap between what teachers feel and students also. And we should mention, that this employment sector in hairdressing is predominantly female, non-unionized, and without external support for improving working conditions. And we can see a big impact in the orientation, OHS orientations. The second one, please, Marie. Thank you. Accident recorded in the VTC register all concern male students, even if female also has accidents. And mainly in welding and electromechanic, cuts and shocks. There is a lot of minor accidents and musculoskeletal disorders that are not recorded. Another kind of situation we have observed is for women victims of discrimination. In hairdressing, students are sexually harassed by male construction students in the center, in the vocational center. This is also the case for the few women in the construction sector, particularly in electromechanics. To illustrate this situation, you can see an exchange between male students during a group interview in which a female student was also present. I will read you the extract. A male student said, well, we discouraged her, but she's still here. I asked, what did you say to her? Maybe it shouldn't be repeated here. Another said, all kinds of sexist jokes. We were preparing her for the future job. Did it work, I asked. She's still here, so it must have worked. It proves that she really wants to do this job. And the female student concerned said, it gave me a pretty good idea of what it's going to be like. It won't be easy at first. They were very proud. Male students were very proud to explain that. So this situation is very problematic. About school direction, it's important to say that OHS management did a lot for OHS. The VTC developed in certain areas. Money and energy were invested in machine-related physical hazards, mostly male sectors, because this was the priority imposed by the Quebec's Worker Compensation Board. Especially since 203, with the Protocole de Québec, it's an agreement between the Compensation Board and the Ministry of Education. This kind of agreement was signed by 9 countries from North America and Europe because the high level of injuries for young people. But some issues remain invisible, especially for women. And according my university students who are teaching their trade, those problems are really presented in the majority of vocational training centers. They confirm OHS problems among teaching staff, safety problems among students, and conflicts with administration over OHS management. They feel incompetent because it often challenges the decision about students' failure to comply with OHS rules, which affects their credibility with students. This research, you can change, Mary. We prepare after a guide to collective OHS intervention in VTCs. We had many opportunities to present the results also, and to prepare an international literature review on the integration of OHS in VCT, to create an inter-university table for the integration of OHS in the occupational training, and to develop a competency framework for teaching OHS. But I can say, even if we did a lot and learned a lot, that it is, excuse me. Oh, wait, I forgot something after. The next one, please. The next. Okay. And I had the opportunity to create 3 courses in the university for teachers in vocational centers. For bachelor's degree, a course, the name is Health and Safety from the Job to Teaching the Job. to learn to analyze their own practice to be able to teach with that. Another, learning to think through the job, and a master degree, ergonomics for vocational training. Those courses were based on a systemic and collective approach, gender issues, and step to analyze practices and determinant. Also based in experiential knowledge from professional and teaching practice, and another research with Vanessa Rimri, plan actually for additional training course, very short courses to be able to help more teachers. To resume for the conclusion, we have now more knowledge of OHS in vocational training center, more OHS with many universities and positive impacts on students. Teacher training provides them more tools, but direct action is also needed on work organization of OHS. It remains very difficult to improve working conditions for teachers and learning conditions for students. It's like, because we are in education sector, all but union consider that we have to change students, but not necessarily the environment. So maybe for discussion, we can ask the question, how can we develop and maintain a collective gender approach to equal opportunities in OHS research and intervention with all social partners, with the workers, teachers, and also with students, for a real prevention of all risk factors, and not only individuals, not only for men, but also for women. Gamsamnida, sorry for my English, and thank you to Chanji for her great support, and also to these translators, women, who have a very demanding job with my bad English. Thank you very much.
네, 샤팅이 박사님 발표에 다시 한번 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Thank you very much.
사실은
So this issue has not really been researched here in Korea. And I don't think we have any kind of discussion as yet about this kind of training, especially for the beauty industry or the electronics that are dominated by men, the former by women. So she has made the comparison between the two and also talked about some of the possible alternatives. So let's just have one question and then we're going to go on to the next presentation. If you have a question, please raise your hand.
네.
Yes. Well, Korea, maybe I think Korea is quite late. I mean, when it comes to the vocational training center, there was an incident at the call center involving women students. And without training on safety at workplace, the high school students in the vocational high schools went out for the internship and they experienced very tragic accident. So we had already cases, but still we didn't have any discussion, even the discussion on having the program for the preventive training. So as a person who is working in the OHS, I'm so sad. So I believe sooner or later, we will do something to this direction and we will have your support. So it's not a question, but I want to just say thank you. Well, in Korea, I believe that this is the area that we have to make more improvement faster than others. So with that, I'd like to move to the next presentation. Thank you.